So let's see if we can't today, you know, make some pattern identifications, take some steps, learn a couple of tools, and significantly enhance our relationship. But to really do that, since there's so many mixed emotions, sometimes what's useful to do is get really clear and get reconnected to the why. You know, one of the things I learned from Jim Rohn, who was one of my first mentors, was, he used to say, Tony, why is more important than how? His other way of saying it was reasons come first, answers come second. If you got strong enough reasons to do something or to master something, then you're going to figure out the how. And so I'd like to just start this morning, this afternoon, this evening, wherever you are in the world communicating with me, by doing a little closed eye process. So just real brief. And we're going to stand up, we're going to get in a great state, and you're going to close your eyes, and I'm just going to ask you some questions. And as I ask those questions, I want you to search inside yourself for the answers. And sometimes I may ask you to make a sound or something of that nature. Notice when I say make a sound, there's a scientific purpose behind that. If you use words, use one part of your brain. If you think and make sounds, especially spontaneous sounds around a feeling, it goes deep in the deepest part of your unconscious. It goes almost to the reptilian portion of the brain, where a lot of our fight or flight happens that messes up a relationship. So if you'll just make a sound and just trust the sound, like we did with Warrior, for example, remember, or Lover, don't judge it. Just make the sound that it'll enhance the feelings and get you there. So let's start with the why of relationship. How many have ever had a relationship experience, even if you have lots of lousy ones, who've had moments in relationship that were really beautiful, that were cherished? If you stripped away everything else, they were some of the greatest moments of your life. Sensual moments, romantic moments, loving moments, you agree? Then let's do this. Let's see if we can't stack those in our body, because here's something else, please jot down. The biggest challenge that makes people's lives not work and their relationships is called negative stacking. That's what I call it, negative stacking. Stacking is, I'll give you an example. Have you ever snapped at your kid or a close friend, and after you snapped him, you felt terrible because it really wasn't them in that moment? It was you were overwhelmed or stressed? Who can relate to this in some way? Say I. So if you get upset with your kid and you overreact, you're not reacting to this moment, are you? You're reacting to the fact that it happened again. Your brain goes, it's always happening. And when you stack all these negatives, you overreact. But in the beginning of a relationship, you stack all the good things, don't you? Oh, isn't she amazing this? Oh, isn't he brilliant this way? Doesn't he or she do this? Oh, I love this little, and you stack all the things. In fact, you probably tell your friends, oh, he's like this, she's like that, right? And your friends are like sick to their stomach. Shut the hell up about this person, right? But you stack positively. So maybe before we look at the skills, let's try and go back to some memories. And let's stack how good it feels, because that'll make you pull forward and use these skills. In other words, a little bit of a compelling future, sort of, by remembering times that are already there. And if you had no experience in your entire life that was ever wonderful, number one, that's bullshit. You just have covered it up. But number two, and you may have had a lot more negatives than positives. I'll buy that. But there are moments. And if you've never had any, then make some up, because we're able to create. We're not here to just manage our circumstances as human beings. We're here to create our lives. Our creator, the universe, whatever you want to call it, has given us one unbelievable gift. Now, with your eyes closed, I want you to just think for a moment of one of the most beautiful or romantic or sexy or sensual moments of your life. I know you got plenty. If you don't have any, make one up. What the heck, right? But just think of a moment in your life. It could have been decades ago, years ago, could have been moments ago. I don't know. Maybe you were busy right before you got on this call here, on this program. What's one of the most romantic, sensual, or sexy moments of your life? And then, you don't have to, I'm sure you got plenty. Pick one. And just for a moment, if you can, imagine stepping into your body as if you were there again now. Like right back in that moment. And as you do, I want you to look through your own eyes and see what you saw then. I want you to hear what you heard then, either what they said to you or what you said to them. That's it. Or what you thought in your own mind. And then breathe the way you were breathing in the moments that felt most beautiful or sexy or sensual or alive. As you breathe it and feel it like you're there, I want you to just notice, what were you focused on when it felt so beautiful to be with this person? And you felt this connection. What were you paying attention to? What were you appreciating about this moment within yourself and with this human being? How were you breathing when you felt incredible? What were you focused on? What were you experiencing? That's it. Now touch your hands, both your hands, to your heart if you would. Physically touch your heart and breathe deep into your heart. And as you touch your heart and breathe into your heart, you may remember that where focus goes, energy flows. So I want you to breathe deep in your heart. Feel as you take breath in, the heart filling with oxygen and blood flow. And it feels so good. And I want you just for a moment to step back in that moment as you're breathing in your heart, feeling all of these beautiful feelings. And I want you to make a sound of what it felt like. And I don't want you to hold back. Really strong sound of what it felt like when it was most ecstatic, most beautiful, most romantic, most sexy. Make a sound out loud. Go ahead, make that sound. Do it again. Use your whole body. Extend your body if you want to. Make the sound of what it feels like to be in this situation. And then I want you to think of another beautiful moment. I want you to think of another. Keep breathing in your heart, feeling the beauty and strength in you. Think of another beautiful, romantic, sensual, or sexy moment. Special moment that you really loved at any time in your life. Step in your body as that person, back as you were in that moment. And once again, breathe deep. See what you're noticing, what you're appreciating that made it. What was special about it? What made it so special? How did it feel? What were you focused on? What were you enjoying? What were you appreciating? What were you experiencing? Breathe deep into your heart and feel that moment like you're there. And then once again, in a moment, I want you to make a sound of what it feels like at the peaks of these moments, ecstatic moments, beautiful moments, exciting moments, loving moments. Ready? Let it build up in your body. Feel like you're there. Let it build up. 1, 2, 3. Make the sound of it as strong as you can and enjoy it. That's it. Do it again. Double the sound and enjoy it. Double it. One more time, triple that sound. That's it. That's it. That's it. And as you feel this, what made it so special? What were you focused on? What were you noticing? What were you enjoying? That's it. And I want you to just feel it. What would you be willing to do to have this feeling all the time in a relationship? What would you be willing to do to have this feeling all the time? Like, doesn't mean every single moment, but every day, throughout the day. What would you be willing to invest in the happiness of the other person in order for you both to feel this way? What would you want to give to the person you love so you both feel this way? Here's a question. What would you be willing to let go of in order to have this kind of love all the time? What would you be willing to let go of? What expectation, what belief, what emotion, what past emotion would you be able to just let go of so you could be free and have this feeling? What belief used to limit you in relationship that you could just let go of about you or them or deserving or desire? What fear would you be willing to let go of to have this feeling all the time? If you're committed to have this feeling all the time in a relationship, what would life be like? I want you to think of one more moment now, one more great moment in your life, another separate moment that was beautiful, that was gorgeous, that was romantic or sensual or sexy or playful or connected. Think of one more. And I want you to step in your body, breathe in your heart, and step in your body like you're there again. Step in your body like you're there. See what you saw, hear what you heard, feel what you felt, breathe the way you were breathing. Fill up with that feeling. Notice what you're noticing, appreciating. And then make the sound with all you got of how good it feels to feel this alive, this much joy, this much love. Extend it. Make a sound out loud. Go for it. Now double it. Double the sound. Extend your body if you want. You let go of your heart. Just feel it all. That's it. That's it. That's it. It's beautiful. Beautiful. That's it. That's it. That's it. Now, what would you be willing to give to enjoy? What would you be willing to let go of to have this all the time? Feel it deep in your heart and soul. Decide this is something you're going to make happen. You're going to recreate it. You're going to awaken it, or you're going to attract someone to feel it, and then open your eyes. Give thanks for the beauty of what you've already had in your life, which means you can create it again, or a whole new level of it, or a deeper level. And then I want you to sit down just for a moment, and I'd like you to write in the chat 2 things if you want. What made it special, and what would you be willing to let go of or give up? What fear, what belief, what limiting thing in order to create this all the time? Go ahead and sit down if you would, feeling strong, and put in the chat if you're willing to. What made it so special? And what would you be willing to do to have this all the time? What fear would you be willing to let go of? What limitation? You got about 2 or 3 minutes. Go ahead and type if you would. What do you got to let go of in order to create this again even more deeply? Let go of being fear, of being hurt. Allow myself to feel safe, which means faith, because it's not always feeling safe. What's the new belief that would replace the old belief that would free you? What's a new belief? What's a new emotion you could replace the fear or the frustration or the anger or the anxiety or the loneliness with? What new belief would empower you? What's a deeper truth? What does your soul know is true when you're not in fear? If you weren't afraid of rejection, if you weren't afraid of being hurt, what would you do? What would you experience? What would you share? What would it be worth doing or letting go of in order to have this kind of love and passion? What are you willing to commit to create this in your life? What qualities would you want to bring to this relationship to enhance it or unleash it or connect it again? What's gotten in the way and what are you going to do instead? Jot it down. What's gotten in the way in the past? In you, what's gotten in the way, not somebody else. And what do you need to do instead? What would you do now to make it better? You guys are doing such a beautiful job. Yes, just let go of it. What belief would you let go of? What emotion would you let go of? What old story? What's an old story you need to let go of? And what would be your new story in relationship? Those putting in the chat, this is great. Thank you. Love seeing you identifying what's gotten in the way. I've allowed myself to let fear get in the way of intimacy. I've felt like I'm not enough. I've pushed my partner away, or I've pushed potential partners away.
Do you remember how we kissed?
My heart's opened up. Stay with them. I just want to keep reading what's out there, guys.
By the end, my face was sore.
Partner died of suicide 4 months ago. I'm so sorry. A lot of people blame themselves, but we all have free will. We could have done everything right. What we do inside our heads is what creates our life. What's got in the way? What needs to change for you to go to the next level of your relationship? What got in the way? What will you be willing to let go of? What limiting belief, what limiting emotion, what past memory would you be willing to just let go of in order to have this kind of beauty in your life every day?
What are we gonna do?
Beautiful vulnerability and truth, everyone. Thank you for sharing. Gorgeous.
What are we gonna do now?
Some people cried because they had so many loving moments. Some people cried because they felt like they didn't have enough. That's all the mind. Let's just cherish what we want and see how to create more of it. What would you be willing to do to have this feeling all the time? Not every moment, but where it's the vast majority of your time in your life and your relationship. What's gotten in the way? What needs to change? Nice, Gita, flowing with love. Beautiful. Amber, nice honesty about the fear of abandonment. I would never be afraid of being abandoned, because if you left me, I would just follow you. That's it. These are beautiful, beautiful, vulnerable, and truthful. Thank you, everyone. You can see everyone feels like they're not enough at times. It's part of the human condition. Many of us judge ourselves much more harshly than anyone else could ever judge us, including those we love. Often when people are reacting to us in such a painful way, it's really not even about us. It's what's going on inside them. They're so hurt inside. And you're a safe place to vent sometimes. What's the old story of your relationship? What's the new story going to be? That might be a nice question to answer. What's the old story of relationship for you? What will the new story be? What's the old identity? Victim or victor or whatever. What's the new identity? Let's keep applying all that we know here. What's the new belief that you want to live by? What's the new story versus the old story? Jot that down if you would. My old story of my relationship was, the role I played was, the identity I was. My new story is, my new identity would be. Nice. Beautiful.
I'm in love with you. What are we gonna do now? Make me feel loved.
About another minute and a half. What was the old story of your relationship? Or relationships? What's going to be the new story of this relationship or a new one you're about to create? Yeah, it's beautiful. What's going to shift inside you? What's the new identity for you in a relationship? What are you going to do different? What are you going to bring to this relationship? That'd be my next question. What are you going to bring to this relationship? You know, if you bring it, it's going to grow. But most of us keep going and go, what am I going to get out of this relationship? That's when the relationship starts to break down. Beautiful, beautiful insights, guys. So many. It's going by so fast. I'm trying to keep up with all of you. This is gorgeous. This is something worth going back and reading and just noticing all the patterns that we have as human beings around the world. Just humans being honest. How beautiful. About 30 seconds left. Old story of your relationship. What would be a new story you'd create? Finish up over the next 15 seconds.